Jerry, how are you? I hope you had a pleasant flight.
We had an 80-knot tailwind, which helped us along.
You piloted the plane yourself?
Yes. On the long hops, I like to take over. Flying exercises the right side of the brain. It can be very stimulating, particularly since most of our days are spent in left-side activity.
I'm afraid you've lost me, Jerry. You never got beyond the cortex at school.
Well, what's the situation?
Cave's down to 500 rads, but the chamber's still too hot.
So, a few more days we can get in.
Yes.
That's okay. What about the sail?
That's making a few waves.
That's only to be expected.
Mr. Grogan, are you here for the inquiry?
I'm in London to talk to Mr. Bennett.
Are you going to buy Double I?
You discussed it, yes.
Do you anticipate any problems with the government, Mr. Bennett?
No, I don't.
Is your bid an attempt to head office inquiry into IIF by the British government?
I don't subscribe to the conspiracy theory of history.
Then what is your interest in Double I?
Emerging technologies, nuclear wastes. The management of nuclear waste is going to be big business. Double I is well ahead of the game.
What will be Mr. Bennett's position if you do succeed in acquiring the company?
I'm sorry?
What will be Mr. Bennett's position if you succeed in acquiring the company?
I'm not planning on making any changes in the management structure of the company. Thank you, gentlemen.
I must go. Goodbye, Mr. Craven. Keep an eye on him.
Do you know that, mate?
No, his face.
He's the man who you think had your daughter killed.
What's the composition? Middlesbrough for it. The only anti-nuclear person is Polly Keller. She's in the shadow cabinet and the firm believes in his role. People are becoming extremely worried about the storage of high-grade waste.
I'll find out.
Will it be necessary to go up to the plant?
No, I don't think so. It's a political battle. It'll be fought down here. Time's pressing.
See you at the hotel.
Hi, Jerry.
You look tired. You still on Houston time?
What are you doing here, Darius?
I'm an energy attaché at the embassy. See? Regular diplomat. Corps diplomatique.
You're wasted in England, Darius. You should be back in the third world killing communists. That's what made you a star, isn't it?
This is the third world. And the communists are not the problem.
So what is?
You are. And I'm here to warn you. You're stirring up the natives. You're making them restless. We have our own interest here on this island. Quite apart from the air bases, there's the golf courses.
The golf courses?
Don't forget, Grogan, I'm a golfer. And when you and your friends are busy in the stadiums, who look after the golf courses? That's a question I ask myself every time I address the ball.
Keep talking that way, you're not going to pass your next medical, you know that?
To know is to die. Remember that, Jerry.
Come in. Morning, Bobby.
Morning, Jerry.
Have you had your breakfast?
Yes, thank you.
Well, there's some coffee over there if you want some.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I had a call from Washington a few moments ago. Somebody's about to break into your plant. Darius Jedburgh, no less, on instructions from the CIA. His guide is an employee of yours, James Godbolt, and they're accompanied by Detective Inspector Ronald Craven. What are the chances of them getting into the plant?
Well, they may get in. They'll never get out.
Up to hit us for 6?
I think so. Do you know Jerry Groven?
No, how do you do?
Guy's a friend of Jedburgh's.
Great soldier in his day.
Sounds like an obituary.
Has Harcourt read my statement? He's looking a bit sick.
No, he always looks like that this early.
Jedburgh isn't here today.
No, he rarely pokes his nose in this place.
What about Craven?
He's, taking the day off.
I believe that fusion motors will power the great spaceships of the 21st century, which will leave the Earth in their hundreds to colonize the solar system. That, ultimately, is what the phrase high frontier means. The historical expansion of man into space, with all the parallels it evokes of the rigors and heroism of America's 19th century trek westward. Like our forefathers, we will be escaping poverty and tyranny. And as in the past, war will provide the anvil upon which our technologies will be...
On their way.
I foresee within the next 100 years the beginning of man as an interplanetary being, a celestial warrior, and furthermore, a solar empire for the United States of America and her allies. Looking at our overpopulated, overexhausted planet, I don't see how we can turn our backs on such a future, no matter what it costs or how long it takes.
Two bars of weapons-grade plutonium. I stole this stuff on orders, straight out of Jerry's latest acquisition. And none. 24 people have died for this stuff, including me. And all I have to do is bring these bars together. We'll have a criticality.
Careful, Tyrese.
400 rads, ladies and gentlemen. A lethal dose to anyone within a radius of 10 yards. Get it while it's hot. Hey, what's the matter? Don't y'all want to be part of the new age of plutonium literacy? Don't you want to see mankind become enslaved to this new priesthood of plutonium culture? See the earth become a desert, all its natural resources plundered, to build some new Jerusalem in the Milky Way?
Why did you let him go?
We had no alternative.
None?
He still has 20 kilos.
In explosive configuration. His words.
$20 kilos enough?
To dispose of the east coast of Scotland, yes.
If he was going to do that, he would have done it by now.
Nobody was prepared to take that chance.
Instead of which, a particularly sensitive relationship between you and my government is now public property.
had a catastrophe in there.
Colonel. What did he say about Northmore?
Not much. The whole hall was in such a state of pandemonium, I doubt if anyone noticed. The man is quite insane. He completely misread Jerry's argument.
Did he? I thought he put his finger right on it. Either we stay or we go.
Go where? Well then, what are we going to do next? We shall have to find him.
I think we should leave it to Craven.
Bennett?
There are alternatives.
The telephone call from Inspector Craven for Mr. Harcourt.
Would you have any objection if we left it to Craven?
As long as he finds the plutonium, it's okay by me.
Well, Harcourt, you'd better make sure that he's fully briefed. Hadn't you?
No time to talk. You'll have to go straight onto the platform.
Where's Jedburgh?
He's inside. Darius Jedburgh is an old friend. For several years before his posting to London as an energy attaché at the US Embassy, Colonel Jedburgh reported directly to the Director of Scientific Intelligence at Langley. In his time, he's also been a member of the Standing Committee on Nuclear Material Safeguards and the International Anti-Terrorism Committee. Finally, I'm sure that my last guest needs no introduction. Our first nuclear entrepreneur, the president of the Fusion Corporation of Kansas, the Henry Ford of the Sunrise Industries. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry C. Grogan.
Where's my plutonium?
And so, without more ado, to open our debate tonight on the future of space, I call upon the president of the Fusion Corporation, Kansas, Jerry Grogan.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must apologize for my late arrival. However, I did not want to leave London until I had confirmation that my company's bid for international irradiated fuels is to be allowed to stand. It is. When we unlock a chain reaction, the energy which is compressed in it was put there in the first 10 seconds of the universe's existence. That is an awesome thing, ladies and gentlemen. We are tapping into the very source of God's creation. Today we have access to that power, but we do not control it. And that is the sole purpose of my corporation, to find a way to control it. When we have done so, we can say for the first time in the history of the planet, man will be in charge. Normally, I don't drink champagne. But tonight's an exception, I think.
Flag, and to remind Grogan that this was only the first round.
What's the hitch?
Ah, yes. Grogan was there, watching the proceedings like some 20th century vampire. Although after his exposure to Jedburgh's plutonium at the conference, I don't hold out much for his chances.